Hey there, good morning everyone. Thursday the 30th of June 2022. This morning's devotional is a reading from Numbers chapter 21 verse 5, which reads, "They spoke against God and against Moses and said, 'Why have you brought us up out of Egypt to die in this desert? There is no bread, there is no water, and we detest this miserable food.'" Life in the world is tough at the best of times. And even when it is going well, we will find something to complain about. It is almost as if it is in our DNA. We are not happy if we do not find something or have something to gripe about. And our complaining often has its roots in thoughtless actions and attitudes. In Psalm chapter 78, we learn the sources of Israel's complaining. Their hearts were not faithful to God. They refused to obey God's instructions. They forgot the miracles that God had done for them, miracles which they had seen with their very own eyes during the Exodus. David writes in Psalm 142 verse 2, "I pour out my complaint before him. Before him I tell my trouble." What we need to understand is that God answers prayers, not complaints. Complaints open the door for the devil to work in our lives because we are so focused on the here and the now. Prayer with thanksgiving, on the other hand, opens a door for God to work in our lives. While the Israelites were griping against God and against Moses as they roamed about in the wilderness, they appeared to have forgotten that it was through their own actions that they were still roaming in the desert. They had completely forgotten to thank God for his provision of their needs. Even their clothes and their shoes never wore out all the time that they were in the desert. Now, I, for one, would seriously not mind if my clothes and my shoes never wore out. Just think of how many clothing shops will go out of business, eh? Anyway, while the Israelites what they had forgotten is that God had rescued them from a slavery after they called out to him to be rescued. He sustained them all this time, yet this had been forgotten because they wanted better things. We also know how often they used to yearn back to the flesh pots of Egypt when they thought of all the food that there was, forgetting that they were in slavery at the same time. How often do we forget that God promises to be with us in difficulty, that he gives us the wisdom to deal with the situation, and that he works all things out for the good of those who love him? My dear friends, it is very easy to forget what God has done for you. Tell him what you need and then thank him for all that he has done. Then we will begin to experience God's peace. When we complain, we forget who God is and what he has done. God honors authentic prayer with thanksgiving. Let us begin having thankful hearts, and you will be surprised how life changes. May the Lord be with you. May he bless you. May he cause his face to shine upon you and be with you always. Goodbye.